But anyway, you're going to make a video about homelessness.
Pray it doesn't rain. My name's Nabeelazaman, and last summer one of the things I told myself was that I wanted to help the homeless. It's only since I started this project that I realised homelessness is a complex issue, and as a result, the solutions are complex as well. It's not as easy as giving homes to everybody, and I don't fully understand it myself, which is one of the reasons why I made this video. Oxford is home to the best university in the world, but it's not the best city in the world. No place is perfect, and I wanted to share with you one of the problems we face here in Oxford. Homelessness is a big problem here, and recently more people have been campaigning to resolve the issue. But what I realised is that whilst it's good to start a conversation, we need to share the voices of those directly affected. The aim of this video is to give a platform to these people so that they may tell their stories without other people misconstruing it for them. The aim behind this video is not to tell you what to think, it's simply to share a story.
I became homeless when I was 18. I left a difficult home situation, and I was homeless for a few years. I was classed as young and vulnerable, so I got a council flat, but through depression and anxiety and the general shit that they give you at the job centre, eventually I lapsed keeping up with the various bits of paperwork and that, and I was young, etc. So that all fell apart. I stopped getting my rent paid. I became homeless again because I lost the flat. Then through Ruskin College here in Oxford, I did the foundation degree to send me to university. I did that degree, and then I went to London University and did a BA in philosophy, religion and ethics. Then I did a postgraduate degree, master's, and for all of that I was getting student loans, obviously, and that was paying for my rent in London. And when I finished my studies, obviously I was no longer getting student loans, so I ended up back in my homeless situation, which is frustrating and odd, unusual, I imagine. Most people find it difficult to imagine that people say, well, why don't you just get a job, or why didn't you get a job? But obviously you can't just get a job as soon as you finish your studies, unless you're very lucky. There's usually an interim period, and usually people have a house and parents to support them, and I didn't. I was out here. So yeah, I ended up back on the streets. So that's how I come to be homeless now. I don't know, what else would you... Okay.
I gave money to this man because I really love music, and so the song he was playing was pleasant. I find it really nice, and I wanted to help a little bit this guy if I could, because he played well. I think he have a talent.
Basically, I've been homeless 4 years now. I become homeless because I came home to find my wife in bed with my sister after a 12-year relationship. 3 children. Rather than see my partner move out and me move out, as kids be uprooted, I decided to leave. Spent all my money on B&Bs, ended up with no money, no means of getting any money apart from busking, so that's what I've done ever since. Council won't help me because they say that I chose to move out and make myself homeless. So they're not willing to help me at all. Every homeless shelter is closing down, so yeah, it's just getting worse and worse for people. There's no way I can get out of this rut apart from busking, saving up, trying to get a deposit to rent privately.
This country has been sleepwalking into a crisis on homelessness over the past several years, and we're now waking up into a nightmare. We now have a situation where 1 in 200 people in this country right now are homeless. 1 in 200 people homeless is quite an indictment. No city has been immune from this, and now we have what amounts to a crisis of rough sleeping and homelessness in the streets of Oxford. It is symptomatic of broader changes in society, and we've seen it happen before in this country. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and those who have nothing left to lose but their lives, I think we know what happens to them. On Your Doorstep was founded as a mechanism for us as students of Oxford to do what we may to help, to humanise, and to stand up and fight for those in our city who have no home or even no shelter at night. We must demand more, and yeah, we're going to have to fight for it.
Trying to get in bed, not being homeless because of the housing problem in the housing crisis. And I don't know, advice, I don't know any advice. Don't become homeless, something like that. I don't know any advice to give to people, like, because I'm homeless, so it's probably bad advice anyway. You know what I mean? So I'd probably give advice if I knew the answers, I wouldn't be homeless. Probably ask someone that was homeless and then they weren't homeless and ask them how they did it, or like ask me when I'm not homeless, like, you know what I mean, and then I'll tell you how I got off the streets. Till then, I'm stuck in it.
So like, I've got to show the place, like, well, homeless people sell this big issue so they can get, so they can earn money instead of begging, like, you know what I mean. So what they do is they buy it $1.25 each, and then sell them £2.50, so it doubles their money. Like it's instead of begging and that, like, so because it's homeless people sell it. Like, homeless people can only really beg and do this, but the person that created this, like, the Queen was so happy with him that she made him a lord in it. You know, like, and he was homeless in it, like, kind of thing, and he just decided to make the magazine, and then he started making it himself, like editing it, and then it grew into, now it's all over the world, in it now, like the big issue is. So it's helps, but it helps me because I get in trouble with the police when you beg. When you sit down begging, the police hassle you, and when you do this, the police don't hassle you as much. They can't hassle you all in it. You know what I mean? But it's a legitimate way to earn money, and the big issue helps people, like other things, like helps you get into housing, and they have support staff. So it's not just like you don't just get the magazine. You actually like go into an office and they have all a support network that you can speak to, and all people sort all your stuff out, you know what I mean? So it's not just, what is it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not just, like, they don't just sell you the magazine, like, and then you just push on your way, like, they actually, like, help you and pay for courses and anything you need in it, like, anything you need. If you need new shoes and that, they buy them in it for you.
I think the homeless in Oxford get the rough end unfair deals. You get promised stuff and they get taken away. So I know it's hard for them, so they take drugs, alcoholic abuse and that. They don't do that. Not all of them do. They really do it to keep themselves warm and kill the pain of the cold. Yeah, it's not very nice sleeping in the streets. It's really cold and that. There's a lot of people helping them getting food out to them now, but the shelter wise, not much for them. Because the council not doing very much, they just shut the hostels and that. And they give some people stay with. It's wrong. So I'm to offer people hope and that, and then just take it away from them. They shouldn't be doing it. They should be giving them a permanent place to be, a stability place. They can go and meet and keep warm during the daytime, yeah. And we need help at night time, and then find accommodation in that. I know it's hard and it's difficult for everybody. You're going to be more and more homeless because people just can't pay their rent and that. And if you've got mental issues and that, you find it difficult. You're at the lowest anyway. And you can't just stand it for no reason. Very much, everybody's got rights. Everybody's got rights to have a house, a roof over their head, and a bed to sleep in at night time.
Well, they got all the money to build the Westgate Centre, but not enough money to help the homeless people. I just think that's quite wrong.
The key thing I'd say about homelessness in Oxford is that the problem is so big that it's often hard to know what to do, and that can make a lot of people feel helpless, and that's why some people just don't do anything at all. But I think recently we're starting to see examples of students coming together, especially with the campaigns that we've started to run through On Your Doorstep. And I think it's really useful not to think that anyone's the good guy or the bad guy. So I wouldn't say the council are necessarily wrong in what they're doing because they've kind of had their hands tied by central government cuts. But I would say that the really important thing is not to give up and to target the people who could actually make a difference but aren't doing anything. Like, for example, the university. It has so much money, and we could find a way of using those resources to try and help homeless people. And I think it's really important also to focus on making change from like a grassroots level. So for example, we've recently been helping someone called Simeon Cope who lost his wife, and we've been trying to get him a place to stay. And that kind of change is really effective because when you change one person's life, you're actually starting to make a difference on a wider scale.
You know, and where we felt this was different is the main thing. Whenever got to really leave this, even if you don't agree.
So in terms of the transitional arrangements for people who are a very small number of people,
aspirations must be an aspiration to reduce it to zero. And we don't just want to find...
If we're helping people store their belongings, it gives them a better chance of moving off the streets.
So far, the evidence and the expert advice that we are getting is as stated. However, if the Homeless Partnership and the steering group...
We worry that it's just an aspiration. I don't like aspirations. I think they're dangerous. It makes you feel that you've achieved something you haven't. The aspirations have to be converted into something practical. And my concern that I want to voice now is about CPOs particularly. The concern is that community protection notices should be a last resort. They are intended to protect the community. And that is not something that we have a great need to do. What we have to do is to look after our homeless, particularly other work sleepers.
You can ride 5 or 10 or 15 kilometres and raise money for a designated charity. So we've got...
That took 183 trainees, and the benefit of this...
People who donate money, so these people have worked for these things. We have housing coaches that look at housing. At the minute we're doing quite good. We've got landlords contacting us saying we've got places, we've got rooms.
All of the orange classes on here is our timetable of classes, so I think we have 38 classes in a week. It's a rolling timetable, so these classes operate every week for 11 weeks. Then we have 2 weeks term break where we offer some less formal activities, and then another 11-week term, and that happens all year. So people, no matter when they become a member with us, which is quite a simple kind of process, come and fill in a form, and if they meet the criteria, they're then a member from that moment. They can then go into a class if they want to. They could go and see Liam if they want to. They could go away and never come back if they want to.
And interact with homeless people, offer them food and conversation. It's a very, very simple model. Sign up on Facebook. You can find us, just type in Turl Street Homeless Action. You can find us there, and we also have a website if you don't have Facebook, the same name. And you can sign up on the rota, and then as soon as you go there, someone who's got experience will be able to lead you through everything that you need to do. So you just need to turn up. It's 7 o'clock in the evening at Lincoln Lodge, Lincoln College Lodge, and someone will meet you there and take you through what to do. They'll have done the shopping, and they'll be able to tell you how to prepare everything and the kind of guidelines that we have. So it's very much a learning on the job thing, and you'll very quickly become experienced enough that you're able to lead a shift yourself. We so easily slip into that narrative is because we're afraid to confront the real humanity of those people that we see on the streets, because we're scared of what that means for the fact that we're walking by, for the fact that we're complicit in the inhuman society that's put our fellow human beings in that position. And so a lot of inaction, I feel, comes from fear and it comes from shame, certainly on my part.
As winter comes and wind it blows, and still this poet's feet they roam.
I'm currently homeless at the moment. Young lady, as yourself, brought me some food, so thank God I have something to eat today. In about 3.5 weeks' time, I'm going to be doing a documentary on the Channel 4 News, so maybe people could look out for that. It'd be really nice if people could be more encouraging for us homeless to get some sort of housing, because this is really hard and I'm finding it really hard. I don't really know what much to say, so I'm just really appreciative of the food that you brought me and what everyone is doing to support us homeless. Thank you very much.
I work with Aspire on a project called Greater Change. They're incubating the organisation along with the university. Greater Change is a way of giving cashlessly to people who are homeless or at immediate risk of homelessness, where essentially people are able to save, meet with support workers, explain what they need to save for, and then the public are able to give towards these savings goals. I don't know, just have a look at what Aspire do, have a look at what Greater Change do, have a look at what other homelessness charities and organisations in Oxford do, and if you're kind of want to help, then try and get involved.
Would it be easier to come back in half an hour or something when that stopped? Would that be better for you? That's Jack. I ended up homeless because I come home from work one day and was told that my partner of 15 and a half years was pregnant by another man because she decided she still wanted the money that I brought in, but she wanted the company as well, so she got the company elsewhere and fell pregnant. And I lost the kids, the house, everything. Got my dog. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Being homeless out here is quite hard. We don't got many people to help us out here. It's cold on night time.
Strawberry tissue for you, man. There we go, boss. Hot dog, yeah? Coming up. Don't you worry. Yeah, man, so we got carried away actually, man. I was getting a bit fancy.
For the past 2.5, 3 months, I have been cooking on the street for the homeless and people in need. I tend to serve about 60 or 70 people a night. It tends to be soup, but I am branching out a little bit. I'm taking requests from people. So tonight you can see we're doing like frankfurters with cheese and onion and mustard. It's been a really interesting experience so far. I've met some really interesting people, and I was on BBC recently. There was a video of me that kind of went semi-viral, probably like bacterial, I'd say. And yeah, so I spend 2 or 3 nights a week out in Oxford, feeding homeless people and anyone in need, really. I think probably the key message for me would be that, you know, although this is good, this is by no means enough. We really need to be looking at a way to house our homeless. There's a lot of disability, there's a lot of learning difficulties, mental health issues, there's a lot of addiction problems that these people are having to deal with, and they're not getting the proper treatment, they're not getting the proper support from the powers that be, and it really needs to change because, you know, people are dying out here, and you know, we live in what we consider to be a very you know, modernised Western world, and it's not good enough.
Somebody to talk to, people in need, somebody to have a good chat. I actually understand what they're on about. Some people say, oh, we know this, we know that, but they don't actually know because they haven't been in that situation. They don't get it.
We were very blessed early last year to be given the old Lush store, which we then turned into a cafe for the homeless. The cafe took off in an unprecedented way. We didn't know if the homeless themselves would actually engage and want to be coming together, but it proved to be a really successful venture for everybody. Not only did the homeless actually engage with us, felt relaxed, we were able to, you know, signpost them to other areas where they might be able to get some support and help. The volunteers themselves that came through those doors in hundreds have told us that it's been life-changing for them. And I think the biggest thing that I would say that's happened from that experience for all of us is that the homeless actually now really truly believe and understand that we care. Everyday ordinary people care. That it's not us that are in the power to change it for them, but we're doing our very best to pull together with not just each other but other organisations. You know, we really want to keep the sort of heart in what we're all trying to do. So the many other projects that are out there that are doing their thing to help, whether it's feeding, services, different things, it's really about us all pulling together now and not just bring awareness but real change and give hope, because that's how we're really going to change things. Not by sitting behind a desk and pen pushing exactly, but actually get on the ground, speak to the homeless themselves, go out there, and you spend a night out on the street when it's only 2 degrees, you tell me that that doesn't deserve for somewhere like Swep to be open. So coming on that subject of Swep, which a lot of people I know don't really understand, Swep is a severe emergency protocol that the government actually register, notify, and then the councils then implement it when it gets to a certain degrees. Well, my argument to those sort of things is, how do you know someone is going to actually survive the first night out on the streets? We don't know. We're all very unique in bodies, so some of us cope really well with the extremities and others don't. But you can go through many different seasons in one day. So as we proved yesterday, we could wake up with snow, and that could continue, be slush, you could have ice wind, then you are soaked through. So there are many elements to a day of the weather. And then really it's about not just sitting and planning and talking for the future, it's about being actionable right here and now. And that's what I feel that all of us together are now doing. We're joining the dots, we're not going to let this go. I'm seeing and hearing of people daily crying down the phone to me, saying that they can no longer just come into Oxford and see people suffering. And as I said, we all know there's not enough homes, no one's disputing that. But what we shouldn't be doing is dehumanising people, and we need to make that. So if we've got an empty space that's empty and we can do a pop-up cafe or something like that just to give a bit of respite, all these empty buildings could be utilised for many different ways. We need to look at actually doing things and not just talking about them. So I really hope that we don't just spread awareness about people being homeless and on the streets, but we actually want to start talking about solutions, finding alternatives. Let's not sit at that table and say what we can't do, or hear a lecture about there's no money. Let's find out what we can do, but together. Thank you.
I started volunteering at Lush Cafe. So yesterday I was out all day, from about 9 till about 7 at night. Everybody's bedding was absolutely soaked. They had no covers to cover it. One young girl, she managed to get hold of me and said to me, "Don't want to cry, I've got no bedding, it's absolutely soaked, I'm wet through, I'm cold, I'm wet." And she was actually crying to me because she was so cold. And now if I'm freezing, just walking about, imagine how they're feeling. And when I went to the night shower and said, "Are you going to wake and sweat?" Their answer was, "No, it's not cold enough. What can you do? Where do you send them? There's not enough tents, there's not enough places for them to stay." It was snowing in the morning, and it's horrible. I mean, I walked past one person and she actually had her blankets wrapped around her, trying to keep dry, but the blankets were wet, and it shouldn't be happening. I've got to know the guys personally over the last 5 months before because they've all adopted me as mum. They all call me mum for some reason. But doing volunteering at Lush has made a difference in my life, because I had mental health issues. I couldn't go out at all. But doing and helping Deb has given me a purpose in life.
Hi, I'm here today in the Curry Club. It's amazing food. Thank you very much, as always. Just like to say, I think the council are really lacking on the homeless issue at the moment in Oxford. They seem to say there's very little or no problem. As if that is the case, there's very little problem. Why can't they deal with it? They claim there's only 37 homeless people on the streets in Oxford, but as you can see just by today, how many people are even here? This is a very small amount of people that obviously are homeless and have issues and needs such as this facility here. I feel they have a moral obligation, morally as well as the people to look after them, and I think they're falling short of that at the moment, closing all hostels down. I think to progress forward is obviously to build more places for homeless people, not shut them down. So we've got an issue with where we're always butting heads with the council. I attended a meeting in January of last year, February, and they all voted against the agenda to shut down Simon House and all the hospitals. So this year I don't know what we're left with. I'm not too sure. As far as homelessness in Oxford goes, everyone looks after after each other. I mean, the Lush building that was going to open in town, I don't know if you know about that, the council jumped and said no, they're not allowed it in town because it's acceptable. So everything that gets given by the public or anything, this is done not through the council or anything like that. So everything that's given is actually by public, by good people. I really feel deeply that it's the council's duty as the council for the people, which they're the ones with that, the money, is to solve this issue. Now, if there's very little issue or no issue at all, then why can't they solve it? That's what I have to say.
Don't do it. Don't do it. What would I say? It depends how permanent or how transient it is. Some people really suffer in the mind problems, and that is different to somebody just having a run of bad luck. So you might be made redundant, just can't find another job, can't pay your rent, you're out. You know, it happens like that. Therein lies a whole set of ways and means you can cope with that. And if you're there because there's some real stressed out problems, like say from the services, and you've been abroad and you've gone to war and you've come back, and there's a few of them out there and struggle to sleep, so that the problems here, that causes ongoing problems, because it can lead to things like not looking after yourself, and so you can get trench foot and you can get problems. You forget about things, so you get restricted, and you forget. So what would I say? I don't know. A few of us try and help each other, and a few slip by. It's difficult, man. So just try and hook up with somebody who's alright.
I have been involved with the homeless movement in Oxford since about June 2016. Oxford is a very, very affluent area. It's got one of the highest cost of livings in Britain. It's also got probably the highest rates of homelessness outside of London. So you've got rich and very poor living side by side. And next time you walk down the street, if you take a moment to look down to your left or your right through the city centre of Oxford, you'll probably see somebody sleeping in a doorway. And it's a real humanitarian issue. So that's my message.
Hello everyone, my name is Bogdan. I've been homeless for the last 3 years. Struggle with everything. Getting help like step-a-stone, night shelter, coming for free meal in Shabnam. It happens like 5 months ago. I went to hospital basically because I've been drinking a lot, and since 2 weeks ago I was discharged from John Radcliffe, which I say hello to everyone from level 5F. Thank you for a good job, for helping me. I feel like I'm a different man. Been since 5 months. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't take any drugs. Try to get to the point when I lost everything 3 years ago, when I meet some wrong people, and I know it's very difficult for everyone to get up, but remember one thing. I went to my GP, and there was something about Andy, a homeless man, and he said, "You will never fail until you stop trying." Thank you very much. So everyone can do it. If I can do it, everyone can.
Did you get them? I don't. I think I got that part maybe, or it might have just turned on.
You can tell us.
You get that?
And
I don't kiss everybody, so you make sure you
What it is basically we provide a meal for the homeless on a fortnightly basis. It was something I set up with my friends a couple of years ago. In fact, we've just had our 2nd year anniversary in November. The idea is that we want to share the compassion, or basically show some simple humanity to people, and it's really taking down some of those barriers of stereotype images that we've got of homeless people, and actually realise they're just human beings. We just need a little bit of time and attention. And the idea of the meals is that we open it to anybody. It's a community project. Anybody can come along. They can come to volunteer. They can come to help. They can make some food, or they can just simply sit down and have a conversation with our friends.
I'm not allowed to work or live or rent, and it's because of that I had to be homeless for a while with my daughter until the services heard of our situation, and then they helped us. But if you can't work, you can't pay rent, and basically that was my problem. Not that I'm lazy and I don't want to work, but because I don't have the papers to work per se. And it's really important that you get your immigration status fixed, because it really affects how you live in Oxford. And it stopped me from getting jobs, although I have a master's from Brooks.
I feel strongly about the unfair system, the unfair injustices in society, so I try and help out as and where I can, especially with the homeless, because I was homeless myself in 1985 and we haven't moved forward as a country. We still have just as many homeless. Yet we have 100 billionaires in this country. So I think most people believe that people who are homeless generally choose to be, or it's their own fault, where I believe it's a fault of the system and society, and it's not the fault of the people who are homeless. So I try and help and raise awareness as and where I can.
Send them all home. That's what they say. Send them back to where they come from. Send them back to their shit life. It's got nothing to do with me. We don't want them here. We've got no room. They bring nothing but 6 kids. None of them speak English. They take our houses, take our jobs, making my life more miserable than it already is. They read the Daily Mail, who just confirm their ignorant beliefs. Blame the immigrants is the headline of the rag. Blame them for your shit life. Blame the immigrants. Now, I've listened to people's worries, I've heard what they have to say, and my answer to this problem is, please, wake up today, start channeling the hate you have for immigrants and send it to its rightful place, because you hating immigrants and not the state is nothing short of a disgrace. Corrupt warmongering governments steal your money and waste it on illegal and immoral wars, and you cry and complain when their victims land on your shores. The West attack ancient cities in search of oil and gold, only happy when they have it all. And the banks are Rothschild controlled. As people are escaping persecution, they're escaping tyranny and death. And you blame the innocents. You hate their every breath. Now please start hating bankers, money men and people who profit from killing, because these are the bastards you need to blame, the ones that are making a shilling. They're the ones ruining your life. They're the ones making it worse. Don't listen to UKIP. Don't listen to Britain First, because it's not the fault of the innocent for them to become an immigrant. It's the government, it's the media, it's the status quo. They're the cause, and the cause of xenophobic ignorance. Thank you.
The cafe is a social enterprise. We help reduce homelessness by giving them skills. We provide skills such as cooking skills, cleaning skills, but most of all what we provide is we help them gain self-motivation, we help them build themselves. Along that we help them find jobs. That's the program. They help us support reduce homelessness. You can do that by frequenting our cafe, having food, drinks and coffees. All our proceeds go to help reduce homelessness, and the training program that we provide for homeless people and everybody else. Everyone is our member.
I'm not homeless. Basically I live a nomadic lifestyle, so I guess this life was chosen. So because of that, I don't really have the emotions that homeless people have, which is the reason why I try to do as much as I can to help people out here on the streets. I became the spokesperson for the homeless of Oxford about a year and a half ago, basically because they needed a voice, somebody who could articulate their needs and their wants, and also to let people know exactly what they're going through, their emotions that they're going through. It's difficult for people out here on the streets. There's such a wide variety of reasons why people become homeless. The newspapers, the council, the police, so most of these people would have you think that it's very black and white. You know, people, drugs, alcohol, they end up on the streets. Well, if that was only the case, that'd be really easy. But it's not. Most people end up on the streets. Number one reason is relationship breakups, mainly. People lose their families, people get kicked out by their spouses or by their parents, or people, when they separate, one person gets everything, the other one doesn't. The one who doesn't sometimes ends up on the street. This can lead to a lot of different emotions due to the fact that we're closing shelters, budget cuts all throughout the government and the councils, and even though they're replacing one hostel with another, you're losing a lot more beds. So instead of gaining beds, which is what we need, because at the moment we're facing an epidemic of homelessness in Oxford. In fact, we're facing an epidemic in this country. And it's not just this country, it's a worldwide issue. One that's not being dealt with at all, as far as I can see. So I guess what I want to try and make people understand is basically what happens to these people when they end up on the street. If you can imagine coming out here after losing everything, you don't get the help that you need as quickly as you need it. It can lead to depression, which can lead to drink. You get in with the wrong kind of crowd. Out here, not everybody's an angel, unfortunately. And sometimes people get mixed up with the wrong crowd, and they end up getting involved with drugs, and then and their lives can spiral out of control. Most people out here who have faced addictions, these things come later. These are a crutch. These are a way of dealing with life, really. And I guess, I want people to understand that when you see people on the streets and you see them in a bad way and in a bad state, this is the result of basically people's failures within the government, within the council, and within society itself. You become homeless, you're dehumanised, and you're treated a certain way. I've seen it all my life. I've lived on the streets most of my life, so I've seen it. I've been looked at every way possible. I've been called everything. There's nothing that scares me or frightens me, or there's nothing that people can say that bothers me anymore. It's like water off a duck's back. Simply because I live this lifestyle. And I think that people need to really open their eyes and realise that, they're closer to homelessness than they realise. You lose your job, you miss 2 paychecks, 2 months rent, your landlord kicks you out. It's so easy to become homeless. We all sit there at home, you all sit there saying, oh, that would never happen to me, I'll never become homeless. But that's what's happened to the people out here right now. They all said exactly the same thing. And this is what people need to realise, is that you need to wake up. And this isn't a problem just for the council to deal with. This is everybody's problem. It's okay walking down the street, complaining and moaning about people in doorways and people begging. Then be part of the solution. Only together are we going to be able to make the difference. And only if we can come together as a force can we force those people in power, those who have the authority and the money to make these changes. Only together can we do this. I've spent more time in the council, in the town hall, than I care to remember. I've been in the media, the newspapers, the radio, the television, and really it hasn't had an impact at all, really. And the only impact it has is that people know me, and they go, hi Neo. But to me, that's not good enough. I want people to understand what I'm trying to do and actually come together and do something about it. And I think that it's important that people start to open their eyes and force those people who are able to make the changes, who are able to change things, to do something. Because the situation is going to get a hell of a lot worse. If you think it's bad now, you wait 2-3 years. Statistically, they say that homelessness is going to rise 70% in the next 10 years. It's risen 70% in the last year. So it's a joke. These people these so-called professionals who think they know what they're talking about, actually don't have a clue. They have to be on the streets to realise what's going on and to see the reality of it. I would say that in the next 10 years, homelessness is going to rise by 300%, not 70. And that's the truth of the matter. I'm going to continue fighting. You know, I have my own dreams and aspirations and things that I would like to do in my life, but I've put everything on hold for the time being until such time as something positive happens out here. And especially in my own hometown, I was born in Oxford, you know, and I would like to see something positive happen here. I'd like to see the people of this city come together and actually make a difference and make changes. And also to treat homeless people with a little bit of dignity and respect, you know, because this is the one thing that's missing. You treat a person like a dog, then they become a dog. And that's just the truth. You treat someone like an animal, they become an animal. And that's just human nature. And unfortunately, I see it every day. People walk past, scowl, look at you a certain way. Some people with absolute disgust, anger, pity, you know, all of those things. Then they're going to build barriers. And this is what's happened with homeless people. All these barriers have come up now, and it's us and them. And it shouldn't be that. We're all part of society. We should all be one. It shouldn't be us and them. And this is the problem. So, for those people listening, for those people that are going to watch this, open up your hearts and show a little bit of compassion. You know, because people are dying. You know, 726 people died last year on the streets. That's a lot of dead homeless people. And, you know, this year, you know, people have already started dying. This is sad. And you know, and it shouldn't really happen. Not in a country, one of the richest countries in the world. You know? And especially in Oxford, one of the richest cities in the world. You know, this is outrageous. And so, as I said, I hope that talking to you today and giving you a bit of an insight on what it's like to be out here, and you know, hopefully it'll open up your eyes a little bit, and you might see things differently.
I'm here for a reason. Everybody comes to me. I don't know why. I'm a bit special, but people keep coming to me.
This video is entitled Pray It Doesn't Rain, for the obvious reason that unpleasant weather conditions bring discomfort for those without a roof over their head. However, I also wanted to convey a deeper meaning of people's constant spewing of hate towards the less fortunate. Thank you for watching, and I pray that we can all live in peace.